I remember a couple I knew. I used to be friends with an Anzac. You know, because local Anzacs would come to your school back in the day. Local Anzacs in your area. These hot, horny Anzacs. No, but he was like an old man. He was like for full Gallipoli, like, you know, he was like an original OG Anzac. Okay. And he came to the school, and I offered him my little Anzac badge. I was only, 8 or 9 or whatever, and he thought it was very cute, and we had a bit of a friendship. Me, the Anzac, and his wife, Shirley. Right. Stop laughing, it's fine. But I would go over there sometimes in the afternoon. They'd have like tea and biscuits, and we would chat, and they would tell me about the war and stuff. And one afternoon, Shirley said, when Pat was away in the war, I used to send him things to remind him of me. And she pulled out this box, and inside of it was a lace handkerchief, a glove, and then there was this photo of her, this black and white photo of her face. And when I was little, I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cute, how sweet, it's amazing. But recently, on Anzac Day, I was thinking back to that. I was thinking, for fuck's sake, Shirley. Pat was in a war. He was in a trench. He's covered in mud. He's probably going to die. Fucking show him some hole. I'll give it up. What's he going to do with a photo of your face? He's trying to knock one last one out before death. He's just like, No wonder old men don't care about feminist movements. So they're thinking, oh yeah, free the nipple. Yeah, cool. Yeah, where were you when we needed you? I would have won Gallipoli. Gallipoli. That's a bad joke. I said it for the first time last night, and I thought it was funny, but it's not. Oh well, you live and you learn.
It is difficult though, being middle-aged, because people look up to you. I mean, look, you're all in a room staring at me, I've got lights on me. What an awesome responsibility that is. That's what my life is like. Just generally, people come to me, they think I'm a proper person, and they expect guidance and leadership from me. I had a young friend of mine came round during the pandemic. I'd say a young friend, he's 22, it's not a Schofield thing, it's like... It's not weird or ill-advised. Well, he is slightly ill-advised, he's an arsehole. But he came round and he was very upset about the Black Lives Matter thing. Like, he was upset for the same reason as they were. It's not a horrible story. And he was like, Garrett, are you coming on the march tomorrow? And I was like, no. And he was like, why not? And I was like, because I'm middle-aged and I've done my marching, did the Iraq War one and all that, and take some sunscreen and a picnic and brace yourself for a harsh lesson in exactly what marching achieves, but have a nice day out. And he said, you've got to come. And I said, why? And he said, you've got to. What else are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing DIY. And he said, what do you mean? I said, I'm trying to work out how to get Artex off my dining room ceiling. And he said, what's Artex? I said, never mind about that, mate. You'll find out soon enough. And he said, Garrett, you have to come. I said, why? He said, because there are people in Britain living with historic crimes that have been done in the places they live, the ramifications of which they're living with to this very day, and they are angry and they want change. And I said, you said you didn't know what Artex was.
Thank you very much. Best joke in the show. That, absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry, young man. That joke is only actually available to be enjoyed by people over the age of 35. But at some point in the future, you will be renovating a property that some shyster has convinced you into buying, and you'll stare up at a ceiling and you'll go, oh, yeah. That show was fantastic. I must watch it on YouTube again. Or, actually, no, I'll go on iTunes and give him $7.99. Because this really, that's very good. I wish he was more active on social media so I could tell him. But until that day, you will not be able to get whatever your dad paid for the ticket price value out of the thing. But yeah, it's just very difficult to know how to just fucking navigate things at the moment. And as a middle-aged, as a middle-aged person, like, as I said, like, young people really fuck me off.
And one of the things now about being a dad, I'm a dad, and I've got a daughter, and I'm like, right, I've got to raise a daughter. And she's a young woman, she was born in 2021, and I'm like, right, I need to be a role model. And I was actually, fuck it, I don't need to be a role model, because there are so many fucking brilliant women all over the world that she can look up to. Like, I'm a fat old guy, I'm the patriarchy, what does she want with me? I'm like, no, she doesn't need to look up to me. There are other people there are so many, I'm sorry, girls, I'm going to say something terrible now, and I have to apologise to you all, because basically I used to be one of those people when, like, over the last 5 to 7 years, when you were all going on about the patriarchy, I mean, arguably a little bit too much, I was one of those. I used to just think you were like my friend Pete, who has 3 pints and then starts talking about how lizards run banks. And when you're all there just going, you're an evil patriarchy in charge of everything. And I was like, well, I didn't get my fucking invite, and neither did the bin men. What the fuck are you talking about? And then I got it. I understood it. And it took the birth of my daughter. And I'm sorry, I was one of those pricks for a long time. And now I'm going to apologise. Now I've got a daughter and I understand. But I get it now, because every time I see an amazing woman try and do something incredible, I just see this grey hand of the patriarchy just come up and try and fucking tear her down. And fellas, we got to stop. We got to stop. Enough is enough. We had our go and we fucked it. Okay, it's their turn, right? They haven't had a go yet. We've been hogging the controller and we haven't even been able to complete a level. And they're sat there going, give us a go on the controller. And we're like, in a minute, I just need to try this bit. In a minute, I just need to try this bit. Give them the controller, it's their go. Am I right, ladies? Yes, so many brilliant women doing incredible things. Liz Truss, Suella Braverman, Nadine Dorries. Incredible women, get out of their way, let them do whatever they like. Yas Queen, sisters.
I really enjoy performing that bit.
I tell you what, there is a woman, genuinely, I have come around on. I've seen the light on. There's someone I used to really despise, Greta. Not because she's a woman, but because she's a child. And when she was precociously showing up and going, yeah, there's a global emissions, you're like, oh, piss off. Precocious little... But I've come round on Greta, I really have. She was on the One Show recently, which was great. And it was really good. And she said that her entire goal is the destruction of Western civilization. And I was like, that's interesting, because that brings your entire goal in line with the entire goal of ISIS. Now, my problem with that is not that's her goal. My problem with that is, why aren't ISIS allowed on the One Show? I'd watch it if they were. That'd be a cracking piece of telly. And then she said, all of my detractors are straight white men. And I was like, oh, fuck. Us again. So I got on the straight white men's WhatsApp group. And I said, fellas, who's been doing this? We cannot afford this. We have had absolutely rancid PR for the last few years. We cannot be having a pop at Greta. What's going on? And then Dave came back and we were all like, yeah, Dave, I know we've been smashing it for millennia, fire, the wheel, the entire economy, but that's not relevant now, Dave. We've got to find out who's been having a pop at Greta and we've got to stop it. Lads did a bit of research. Turns out, not us. Phew. Turns out most of her detractors are in fact Chinese. Now, you're all very uncomfortable. And you shouldn't be, because I am a professional of some standing, and I'm here to tell you that is an excellent joke. It's based on fact. It's got a nice curve to it. Comes back. It's got an unexpected thing. But you all went, I heard your rectums go, because you were like, I was all right with Death Bear, but where the fuck's he going with this? Because you, like most people in Western civilization, have completely lost your ability to differentiate between racism and xenophobia. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through that now so you can properly enjoy the next 7 minutes of the show. Okay, great. Okay, racism is an evil scourge which needs to be eradicated from the planet and has no place in a society that calls itself civilized. We good? Good. Xenophobia is often fair enough. Okay? If you're not shite scared of China, you're not reading enough.
The issue is I'm clearly a big fat guy. And I want to live. I travel a lot and I see just like how healthy the world is. I go on stage in Europe and I got to go up there and be like, look, I know I look like a propaganda drawing, but I'm not even that fat. They don't know the kind of fucking legless pigs we have over here. We got some mutants over here that they have no idea exist. In America, I'm aspirationally fat. People see me here and they stop their rascal scooters. Good God, to have that body. He's got his whole life ahead of him. He's gonna live to be 56. God, to look like him, I would give my other foot. Because I see him. I see the babes over there. I was in a cafe in Berlin, and I was with another comedian. And like, you know, I'm married. I'm monogamous. We're not poly. We're still trying. And we haven't given up on each other, you know? That's just spiteful. That's all that joke is. It doesn't come from a place of jealousy. Don't worry. I'm good with it. One hole forever. That's what I said in front of the judge, and those were my vows. One hole forever. Your Honor. Your Honor, get off her. That counts. That counts as a joke. That's what you sound like. That's your version of laughter. It just sounds like a fucking flaming skull. It's crazy, bro. That's what opiate withdrawals sound like. That's it. This is my demographic. This is my man right here. Yes. Bearded man, drinking booze, broken leg. That's what Yep. The doctor quit giving me the damn pills. Said I was too good at eating them, so here I am. So I'm in Germany, I'm with this comic, and like 10 of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Just statuesque, blonde hair, blue eyes. They look like what Hitler was fighting for. That's the best way I can put it. And that sounds bad, but it's a pretty high compliment. When you see the Aryan ideal in real life, it really makes you think. What side am I on, you know? How many people have to die so I can have cheekbones? 6 million. These women are lined up ordering, and the other comedian nudges me, and he points at the gals, and he goes, "Too bad you're married, huh?" Yeah. That's all that's preventing that from happening. Too bad I have this sacred trust with my wife, or else all of their holes would be in trouble. No, there's no way. We could never, ever mate. Anything that comes out of me would be poisonous to them. If I were to bareback them raw, my seed would cause them to pass away. It would make their uteruses wilt and fall out, like dried flowers from an old book. There's no way. There's no way they would let me in there. It would have to be the end of the world. That's the only situation in which I'm allowed to gain access to their pussies. It's the only... Don't fart noise that. I didn't want to say pussy either. What do you want me to say? Copulate? Ugh. It'd have to be like the end of the world. And we're in some bunker in old Sweden. And it's like the 10 girls and me and a woman scientist. I know. We're clearly doomed, but... Woman scientist, what's next? The dog wearing sunglasses? So we're in this bunker, right? And like the woman scientist is like, we must save the species. You must let Sam gush. He's the only male man left. You must let him nut so we can save the species. Before they allowed that to happen, they'd be like, are we sure all the chimps are dead?
Very proud of her for going through pregnancy, by the way. Oh my goodness, it made me realise how much I've underappreciated mothers. Now, I don't mean to pander, but let's be honest, Mother's Day and Father's Day should not be equal things. Mother's Day is like you grew a whole human inside yourself and squeezed it into existence. Father's Day is like, and you were very helpful too. Mother's Day should be the full day. Father's Day, 7 to 10 minutes max. No longer than it took to become a father. Maybe 20 to 30 for some of you. I don't know what stamina you're working with. It's an exciting time having a kid. A lot of people are excited to ask you questions like, oh my God, do you know what you're having? Do you know what you're having? I'm like, yeah, financial burden. Oh my God, it's insane. Like, I read that by the time a kid is 18, they'll cost you $1 million. Now, Lucy and I did the budget. We got to cut him off at 4. We're not getting that far. Like, I don't know if I can provide for him. Here's what I think, right? If you ever read an autobiography of a great person in history, it always starts the same. Like, we didn't have much growing up. That's what I can provide for him. A rags to riches story. Some adversity. It's crazy expensive. Even a babysitter, some of them are $40 an hour. You go out for 4 hours, that's $160. That's insane, right? I'm trying to be thrifty. I'm looking up return flights to Adelaide, $70 on Jetstar. Perfect. I'll put him on the plane, have our night out, pick him up on the way through. He gets frequent flyer miles. That's his inheritance. That's how you got to do it. There's a lot of pressure on pregnant women as well. When Lucy was pregnant, all her girlfriends asked, babe, when you're in labour, are you going to have the epidural or are you going to have a natural birth? No, don't you want to have a natural birth? Like, ladies, if you want to have one, power to you, but don't put pressure on other women. You don't find out someone's going to the dentist and go, oh, you're going to have the painkillers or you're going to have a natural root canal? No, don't you want to feel connected to your tooth? Don't you want the full root canal experience? My wife requested the epidural the day she found out she was pregnant. She's like, you plug that thing in, leave it in there till he graduates high school. I want to buzz the whole way through. People give you advice as well. All my male friends, my proper, men friends, gave me a lot of man advice. They couldn't even say pregnancy terms, by the way. They couldn't say pregnant or labour or birth. They had to use man terms like, oh, so I heard Lucy's up the duff. She must be in the drop zone. How long till launch? Hey, we're not working on a spaceship. But their advice was like, mate, your responsibility as a dad is just to work. Work all day, every day, for the rest of your life. If you never see your family, that's ideal. I'm like, oh my God. My cool inner city hippie friends are the opposite. Like, just so wild about it. They're like, oh my God, Simon, birth's amazing. Have you got enough crystals? I'm like, yeah, I got enough crystals. How many? None. I think that's enough. No, birth's amazing. You got to get right up in there. It's so beautiful. You know what you should do? You know what would be amazing? You, when the baby's born, you should eat the placenta. I'm like, wait, why would I eat the placenta? It's full of nutrients. I'll have a muesli bar. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not going to get back into eating meat starting with a placenta. I'm going to try fish and work my way up to cannibalism. Let's all calm down. I learned a lot during the pregnancy on how to be a good partner. And I'd like to present all the lessons I learned in a little segment called Things Not to Say to Your Pregnant Wife. Hey, babe, when you're wearing a jumper that comes halfway down your pregnant belly, it makes you look like Winnie the Pooh. End of segment. That's everything I learned. That's all the lessons. Don't do that. So stupid. I thought it was cute. It was stupid. She got me back, though. A week after my son was born, I was up feeding him at 3 a.m. It was so dark, I was so tired that I stumbled into the wall and I smashed my toe and I broke it. And in the morning, Lucy was waking up, still recovering from the birth. I said, babe, I broke my toe. And she looked at me like, good. Do it without the epidural. When you have a baby, they give you a lot of pamphlets. And I have a favourite. My favourite pamphlet when the baby was born that they gave us was 1 page. And all it said was, don't shake the baby. I read that, I'm like, what kind of monster would shake their baby? And at 3 a.m, after breaking my toe, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I got that pamphlet. Very, very useful. So much pressure on parents to make the right decisions. When you have a baby, you have to decide what diapers you're going to use. You're going to use disposable diapers, you're going to use cloth diapers. I did the research. If you use disposable diapers, you're killing the environment. But if you use cloth diapers, you want to kill yourself. That's the research. I'm a millennial. I will do anything to combat climate change unless that thing is a little bit inconvenient. That's it. I realise that having a kid is the worst thing I can do for the environment. That's why I'm a vegetarian, to offset my carbon emissions. If we have a second kid, I'll have to become vegan. If we have a third kid, I'll have to eat the first one. I don't know. I'm trying to help. There's a lot of pressure. Medical pressure. Am I doing everything right for my child? I asked the doctor, how do I know if my son has a peanut allergy? She said, oh, you give him peanut butter. I'm like, what if he dies? She's like, well, then he's got an allergy. I'm like, surely there's a better system! You want the best education for your child. You want to get them ready for college when they're 6 months old. So you want the best daycare. There's 2 different kinds of daycare. There's the boutique fancy daycare. You walk in, there's a cloud of mist. And there the educator is there. And they're wearing nothing but 100% cotton. And they're just like, the children will learn 8 languages and all be lawyers by Friday. And you're like, yes, that's what I want. You look at the price and go, I'll just go to the local state one, that's fine. You go, what have you guys got? They're like, we have a wet sand pit and a dry sand pit. You're like, oh great, what do the kids eat for lunch? Whatever they find in the wet sand pit. You're like, that's where he's going. So much pressure to do the right style of parenting. Like, the older generations, the greatest generation, they had a very hands-off approach to parenting, right? They were like, have a bunch of kids, wish them all the best. That was their approach. The greatest generation, my grandparents, they came up with the song 5 Little Ducks. You know that song? Yeah. 5 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck went quack, 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 and only 4 little ducks came back. Just so you know, she didn't go out looking. She had 4 ducks now. Then it gets to 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, if your kid falls asleep before that song is finished, it's just a horror story about a woman losing her family. Very hands-off, the older generations. That's why the baby boomers became helicopter parents. They did the opposite, right? They were like, no, we're going to do everything for our child. We're just going to make sure that they're never hurt, never injured, they don't experience any adversity. I'm going to do everything for them, and they're going to build no coping mechanisms so they have to deal with that in therapy in 30 years. That's what we're going to do. That's why my generation, we're trying to work it out. And I looked at what the experts are saying on TikTok, and that's where they are. They said the best kind of parenting is gentle parenting. That's what we're doing now. Gentle parenting. You never raise your voice. Even if the child is only 6 months, right? You never raise your voice. Even if they don't have language yet, you don't touch them without their consent. No? If they're in trouble, you just blow them to safety. Just... They don't understand your words, but you just use a gentle tone. Just go, hey there, fella. Hey there, Mum and I would appreciate if you went the fuck to bed. That's gentle parenting. My friend asked me, what style of parenting am I going to use? I'm like, oh, a bit of everything. He's like, really? Would you ever hit your kids? I'm like, oh, dude, that is up to them. If they just behave, then no. When you're having your first kid, other parents like to terrify you. And what they'll do is they will say 800 horrible things about being a parent, and then at the end, as they're walking off, just sort of one soft, general positive thing. Like, oh, first kid, say goodbye to sleep, mate. No, even when they're older, you're picking them up from parties, worrying about them all night. You're not going to have any money anymore. Life is expensive. Oh, my God. Do you know what concert tickets are? Oh, and forget your job. You're not going to have any more career ambition. No, there is no way forward for you. You're going to be tired and broke and sad and miserable for every day for the rest of your life until you die. Best thing you ever do, though. Best thing. You're going to love it. It's a joy. Now I appreciate, now that I have a kid, I don't have a lot of time. But to be fair, I'm a self-employed millennial. Before I had a kid, I had too much time. Before I had a kid, the majority of my day was spent unsubscribing to emails. That was a big day. That's a lot of work, unsubscribing to an email. You click it. Goes, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? And I'm like, yes. Well, do you want to manage your preferences? I guess so. Well, you got to log in. Well, I've got my password. Well, you got to reset your password. All right. We've sent you an email. That's the opposite of what I wanted to happen. You open the email, they're like, here's a verification code. I'm like, what do I do with that? They're like, take it outside. What? Take it outside. There's a man in a robe with a beard. Tell him the verification code and he will give you the sword of destiny. Take the sword of destiny to the tallest mountain and slay the troll. And the blood of the troll will seep down the hilt. Stand on the summit and scream your verification code into the air. And an angel will descend from a cloud. His name is Alessandro. He will wrap his wings around you and he will hold you close and kiss you passionately and say, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? You'll be like, Alessandro, I don't know how you got my email in the first place. I used to be the guy who opened every email. You know, there's two kinds of people. People with a clean inbox and people with that little red square with 7,000 unread emails. I used to be the first guy because I'd open every email. I'd enjoy every email because every email had a bit of personality. Like if you got a free trial for a streaming service, I like that email because it's a very seductive email. They write it to be sexy, don't they? They're like, hey, big guy, do you want a free trial for a streaming service? I'm like, yeah, I'd love a free trial. What's your credit card? I thought you said it was free. I just want to look at it. Send me a photo. Seductive email. I really like a security alert email. Those are so funny, aren't they? They're so neurotic. You know when you log into an account from a different browser and this security alert email screams into your inbox in such a panic like, oh my God! What's wrong? Someone just logged into your account! Oh my God, from where? From your house! I'm in my house. Are they still there? No, it's just me. They used your laptop. I'm on my laptop. And your password. I'm pretty sure it's me. Are you sure? I'm sure. Here are 9 photos. Tell me which ones are traffic lights.
I had a buddy skipped grade 1. Wow. How the hell do you skip grade 1? What are you, big finger painting champion? Duck, duck, goose winner every day? Wow, look at that kid run. Skip him. How stupid do you feel, though, walking into grade 2? You just skipped grade 1. Everyone's looking at you, mocking you. Look, that's the kid right there. Skip grade 1. No, shut up. Heard he's really good at cooperating with others. Remember I had to do the food groups project? Remember this waste of time? Did it every year. It's like every teacher signed it. It's those teachers that had nothing to do. That was me. No lesson plans. I'd show movies when I taught. This is how selfish I was as a teacher. One year I was teaching geography, and I was showing Rudy. Because I like that movie. It had nothing to do with the class. They're like, this has nothing to do with geography. Happened in Indiana, okay? But what I would do is I had geography period 1 and geography period 2, the same grade. I would show period 1 the first half, and then I would just keep it going the second half. They're like, what? Period 2 is like, why are we watching this in the middle? Well, I just saw the first half. I don't want to see it again. I remember doing the food groups, though, every year. So then I assigned it every year. That's how it works. I'm going to do what all my teachers did. But I remember being in grade 1 and we had to do this project. 6 years old, if you're going to do a project and they sign someone with you, you got to be supervised. You can't leave 2 6-year-old boys up in a room doing a project, because I don't know how we got to this, but we did our project, nutrition. We couldn't spell, nutrition. And you underline it, double underline, double. Put a little R with the number, it's spelled wrong, put an R, drop it in. Diary product. We couldn't spell. And then they, nutrition, underline, and then diary product. And then they post them in the halls for everyone to see. So your parents can come beat you up at parent-teacher night because they see you can't spell and you embarrass the family name. Because your name's this big on those posters. We go upstairs. This is a true story. I don't know what it means. I don't know how we came to this. We finished taping everything. His mom's picking him up in 2 hours. It takes 15 minutes. We're up in my room, 6 years old. I suggest we tape our penises together. And the thing that blows my mind, when I look back on that day, I can't help but think, what are the odds of finding a kid in the whole world to agree to this? I got the one kid in my room. And he wasn't like, he didn't question it. He was like, yeah. Like it was like, it's like he was thinking it too. And that's the weird stuff you do. Joey, I'll never forget it. Joey and I are up there. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We stripped down. And we just did that. We taped our penises together. And we just stared at each other. We didn't know what to do. Completely naked, just standing there. Thinking maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And then he says, I lost it when he said this. I ended up peeing all over him. And he wasn't trying to be funny, but we were 6 years old. We had just learned the alphabet. And he's staring and he says, he's all excited too. We made the letter H. That was it. That was our project. I wasn't even a good student. I remember being in grade 6. That was my worst year.
Morning people, they seem to have a good time. Maybe that's why I don't enjoy things. I'm too tired. Morning people, they're going around, doopy-doopy-doo, their elbows out, they've got that Ned Flanders energy. Got any morning people in? What time?
Like 6.
6, that's pretty good. And are you one of those people that just like, I'm awake, that's it, I'm awake?
Yeah.
I gotta get out of bed, I'm awake. Imagine saying the phrase, I'm awake, I have to get out of bed, in any scenario that does not involve a sniper. It didn't even sound right saying it then. I'm not a morning person. Waking up is the worst part of my fucking life every day. Every day it's the worst part of my life. I wake up every morning like I have just had major surgery. I'm confused. I'm in agony. Nurse! My eyes, it's like trying to blink over Ferrero Rocher. Spiky balls. My mouth tastes like ass. My ass tastes like mouth, I don't know. There's a chance that's how badly I've slept. I've rolled around so much that my pipes have internally rotated, and now the bum end's at the top and I'm tasting it. And then I have to go for the biggest but darkest piss of my life. What does it mean? A dark piss means you need more water, but a big piss means you're fine. It can't be both. I can't need more and less water. And when I say it's dark, I'm not dying. It's not, but it's a rich golden hue. It's the piss of Midas. If you saw fields the color of this piss, you'd be a fine harvest this year. And then you have to have breakfast, and I'm not I can't eat that early in the morning, right? My stomach, it's like a shriveled up old carrier bag in your pocket. It's not ready to receive objects yet, yeah? But you have to force feed yourself because the tasks are coming. Uh-oh. They'll be here by about 9, and you need energy to fight the tasks. And that's why every breakfast food comes with butter or jam or whatever. It's just lube. Lube it up. Poke it in. It's the only way it's getting in, if it's lubed up. You have to treat yourself like a foie gras goose every morning. Lube it up. Blah, blah, blah. Get it in there. Get some task energy. It's a disgusting way to start your day. Force-fed, like a goose. And then I get up at these insane times. Explain what I mean. So I do this as a job. It's a nighttime job, but sometimes that it doesn't go well for you, right? You have a rail replacement bus nightmare. I once got back to my flat in my bedroom at 3 a.m. and I had to get up at 6 a.m. to be on the radio. So that's when you just go, okay, my life is on fire. I'm only going to get 3 hours sleep. I have to accept that, and I'll just set my alarm and deal with it. So I set my alarm, 6:09. Phew! I was nearly going to be tired in the morning. That's that bullet dodged? It doesn't help. It does nothing. All you're doing the night before is going, okay, I'm definitely going to be knackered, but what if in the morning when I woke up, I wasn't just knackered, I was also late. Not late because I've had like a lovely breakfast or a chat with my family, just upon gaining consciousness, behind schedule. Just eyes open, late. That would lend a fun energy to the force-feeding part of the day. Late. Oh. And then you have to have coffee. And I like coffee, but I want to have it at my leisure. Not by force, as a kind of performance-enhancing drug. And that's what it is. Coffee is there to solve an age-old problem. You are awake. Your bum is asleep. Wakey, wakey, bum. Coffee's going to wake up, bum. Not nicely. Coffee is going to wake up your bum like it's a hostage rescue SWAT team. It's going to battering ram in the door. Pow! Shotgun through the lock of his bedroom door. Blam! Grab your bum by the neck of its pajamas. Where are they? Where are the turds? That's why people smoke in the morning. Did you know that? Same effect, apparently. You fill your body up with smoke, the turds can't breathe in there. Coughing, they flee for the only exit. Like getting a badger out of a den. If that's observational for anyone. It's a horrible fucking way to start 5 days out of every 7. And you're in this terrible state, and then you have to put up with the news. Now, I like the news. I'm subscribed to everything, but like from lunchtime onwards, please. In that delicate state, it's not appropriate. You know, there you are, crusty eyes, stink mouth, big weird piss, panicked, force-feeding, shitting, late. And then a man in a suit appears on the television and just reads out a list of all the war crimes you slept through. Oh, good, you're up. So. Ah, fuck. Shush, leave me alone. I'm not the foreign secretary. These are not my tasks. Later at noon, when I'm emotionally ready for the state of the world. And then you've got your 8 to 10 hours of tasks. Oh, the only highlight is lunch. The shittest meal. And it is. Every good lunch you've ever had was good because it was like dinner. Wow, what a great lunch. Oh, why was it good? It lasted for 3 hours, it was hot food in a restaurant, and we got pissed. Right, dinner then. Dinner. Lunch is terrible. It's a meal deal sandwich. No getting around it. It's a meal deal sandwich at your desk. And they've never been good. But lately, they're full of lies. Someone, over at Big Sandwich, has decided to trick me by scraping the filling out of the middle of the sandwich where it lives and instead smearing it onto the external lips of the sandwich in order to give the impression of a sandwich that overfloweth with filling and bounty. And so when you're standing there in front of your bank of depressing meal deal sandwiches in your shop of choice, peering at them through their sweaty little windows, like some Amsterdam punter, you see it and you think, my God, is it even legal to fill a sandwich to this extent? The tuna mayo cucumber is bursting out of this thing. Have I won a prize? Quickly, you buy it, take it back to your desk, you take a bite. Within a desert of bread, betrayal. It's empty. You flip it up, yeah, it's gone, nothing in there. The filling was on the outside the whole time. And now you get to poke it back in with your fingertips. Even though they're still horrible from the bus. Undignified, unacceptable. Oh, you can have a wrap. They're shit as well. A wrap is a tube of mayonnaise cut in half. It's a tube of fucking mayonnaise, and one half's got a shred of chicken in, and the other half's got the bum piece from a lettuce. And if you can choke those down, what's your reward? A sailor's knot of plain pastry at the base. A flavorless fist of dough that you get to gnaw through like a dog. It's like dentist sticks texture. You can feel it cleaning your gums while you eat it.
I quickly want to tell you a side story because we don't have time for it. No. So my wife's grandmother, Phyllis, she's 96 years old, when she died in December, I know. 96 is a good age to get to, right? Yeah, as a cricket fan, I would have loved to have seen her get to 100. She played off the front foot all the time. Avoided a few LBWs, if you know what I mean. But 96 is a good age. She was born on the family farm. She was raised on the family farm. She had all her kids on the family farm. And then she died on the family farm at 96. But the minute she died, everyone was like, she's gone to be with Stanley, her late husband. Let me tell you about Stanley. I've never met Stanley. Because Stanley died suddenly from a massive heart attack at the age of 42 on the back paddock. They said he was dead before he hit the ground, right? Now, Stanley was a wildly attractive man. You know those people, when you see their photos, you're like... Like, it's just on the farm, like the wedding photo. You know, the normal old people photos, there's three. There's him with a young guy, a young man, in a button-down shirt, and then the wedding photo, and that was that. But I look at those photos and I'm like, whew. You know when someone's so hot, you start questioning your choices? And then you remember being gay is not a choice? Here's a wildly attractive man, prime of his life, then he dies, now he's in the prime of his death. So how it works when you die is you still look exactly the way you look now, you're just see-through. So it's fact, like, I'm not making this shit up. There's a documentary on Netflix, you can go watch it. It's called Casper. Some of you have seen it. No, so you still look exactly like you do now, you just see through. Some of you are sitting in here tonight and you go, I'm fat and ugly, I'm going to kill myself. Don't. Don't. Stay here, you're just going to be fat, ugly and see through on the other side. And they don't have biscuits for us there. Stay here, let's make skinny people uncomfortable. I have a little thing to entertain myself before I get on a long haul flight. When I walk into the plane and you see people, those skinny people watching, no. I just go in there, I'm just in the middle there. And I go, I'm fucking with you, I'm up in business. But Anyway, so Stanley's dead. Now, he goes to heaven. And when you get to heaven, this is how it works. You get to heaven. And in heaven, they have all these pods, right? Like party pods. Like they've got the party pod. What? Everyone's making shit up about the place. Give me a go, all right? So you have the party pod where all the hot people go to party, right? Then next to it, you've got like the knitting pod, you've got the finger painting pod. Whatever you're into, there's a pod for you, okay? So Stanley gets to heaven and God says to him, Stanley, you're a wildly attractive man. You get to go in the party pod. And he goes, no thanks. Because he's read the articles. He's seen the things on telly. He knows. He loved Phyllis so and she loved him so that she's going to be there any minute. And he says, nah, I'm going to wait for Phyllis. And God says, are you sure about that, Stanley? Because I've got a book in the back. I'm kind of running this joint. And Stanley goes, nah, I'm going to go ahead and wait. And God says to him, you do you, boo. As it says in Leviticus. And I haven't read the whole book. I'm sort of just loosely quoting here. So Stanley starts waiting. Yeah, I'm new. It's weird, I'm see-through here. He had a pie before. After a few years, he realises Phyllis isn't coming. And he can hear the party podders going off. Then he thinks, you know, Phyllis is a wildly attractive woman herself. She's probably remarried to get someone to help her with the kids. He then joins the party pod. And at this point, Stanley starts hammering ghost pussy. Like, no one has hammered ghost pussy in the history of ghost pussy. Right, he is going hammer and tongs, as they say. So one day there's an announcement. Stanley, can you come to the gate, please? That's Stanley to the pearly gates, thank you. So Stanley leaves the pod and he goes, hey! You keep that ghost pussy on ice for me, I'll be right back, all right? He gets to the pearly gates and who's there but Phyllis? He gets a fright naturally. She has shrunk 3 foot. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, global warming is real. So Phyllis, who never remarried, never even removed her wedding bands, has waited for Stanley all these years. And she's ready to reconnect. She's frothing to reconnect. Stanley says to her, at ease, Phyllis. I've been hammering ghost pussy for decades. I'm not ready for fossil pussy just yet. So I guess all I'm saying is you can work at your relationship as much as you like, but as soon as your partner drops dead, he's going to be hammering ghost pussy in heaven. Or ghost dick. There's ghost dick too. And that looks bigger because it's see-through. And it's better when it's see-through because you can see it coming. Not going to surprise you in the eye with that one. I'm just saying relationships are hard. That's all I'm saying. I want you to answer this for yourself internally. Take this home. Would you, knowing what you know today, and with the path that you have walked in your marriage, would you get married again if you knew how often you'd be fighting about towels? I think every major argument in a marriage can be tracked back to towels. You think she's fighting about, you know, your spending or your... It's not that. It's because you left a towel on the floor. The amount of times it's yelled in a marriage, who used the good towels? Why are you using that towel? Don't use that, that's the dog's towel. Stop touching that towel. Pick up that towel. Why is this towel wet? Why is that towel too dry? Why does this towel smell like that? Why can I break this towel in half? There's so much. I am so triggered by towels. I'm not even lying. I have once seen a whole load of towels in the dryer and I told my wife that I had a gig out of town and I left for the weekend in the hopes that she would sort it out before I got back. Because I can't handle the stress. And you're like, you're so tense. I start folding the towels and she just walks past. That's not how we fold towels in this house. Like, my relationship's not perfect, you know, because I'm a touring comic, so I'm on the road about 300 days of the year, and we travel as a pack. So right in the beginning, my wife said to me she's scared of flying, which is a huge problem because that's how we do it. Because it's not 1912. But, you know, I'm nothing if not supported. So what I would do, if I know we have a flight in the morning, I would go look up the safety specs of that plane. I would look up all of the details. I go, it's an ATR 72, it's the safest plane in their fleet, this is how many seats, this is the quietest seat, this is the one with the most recline, that's where the toilet's located. I even make shit up about the pilot. Because I don't know why they keep introducing themselves. They're not famous. No one gives a shit. No other job on the planet. You don't get to the supermarket and they go, welcome to checkout number 3. We've got Stacey here checking out today on the Olympus 3000. Now, the conveyor's running at roughly 0.0029 kilometres an hour. Yeah, your loyalty card don't mean shit. You want to sign up? Well, recently I flew to Dublin and they were real casual with the introduction of the pilots. They just came on and go, g'day, today, well, not with that accent. Today we've got Alana and Matthew flying you into Dublin. And I looked around and not one person even lifted their heads off their phones that were supposed to be in flight mode at that time. Anyway, I do all of that shit for her. I mean, not anymore. I've now recorded all of the audio notes. So before we get on a flight, I just airdrop her that shit. If you've got an Android phone, you're going to have to Google what that is. What she said to me, she goes, you know what, I'm not scared of flying. I'm scared of crashing. Yes. We all are. When we're in the nosedive into the fucking Pacific, no one's going, fuck yeah! We're going directly into a mountain. Fuck yeah! Matthew and Alana getting it done today! No! We're all scared. That's why the brace position is this. So you can shit up your own back. That brace position is not a life-saving measure. You see people look at the cards and go, that's not going to help. They only want that. Because once the plane has crashed, there are people who have to go around after they've put out the fire to pick up body parts, right? And it's usually your teeth that's left. And they have to put that in a little baggie for testing. That's why you're doing it in the front, so they don't have to go sift through piles of shit for the teeth. The whole Boeing is not designed very well for a crash. Like, you know you're not going to survive. Like, quickly make some noise if you've survived a plane crash. Do you see what I'm saying? Why even bother with the safety features? We're gonna fucking die, let's make this shit fun. The first thing they say, like, you know, we're about to crash. What do they give? What drops down from above your head? Oxygen. You know what oxygen does for your brain? Wakes you the fuck up. It wakes you up. You have crystal clear thoughts. You can remember stuff. You can remember your own birth. You are so wide awake and so alert. My mum was right all these years. You're going to be wide awake when your anus slowly curls over your brainstem. I've applied for a job at Boeing. Because I reckon the first thing, if they know we're going to crash, there should be a button that pops out in the headdress in front of you. A little mouthpiece with, you know, that clay from the dentist that you have to bite into. So that when they retrieve that, they can just do it with those tongs that you see people... 27, I ain't never flossed a day in her life. Once that thing sets, yes, then automatically from above you where the oxygen used to live, a bag of cocaine drops down. Yeah. Even if you've never tried cocaine in your life, shove your whole head in that bag and inhale. You're still gonna die, but fuck, you're gonna believe in yourself. Guys, we've got this. Head of the line on Matthew. Let's go! But then she said to me, she goes, look, it's not the crashing even that frightens me. I'm like, fuck, all right, what's left? It's not the cuisine. She goes, it's that bit when you're flying and you must realize this plane is going to crash till when it actually impacts. She goes, that can be seconds, it can be minutes, we don't know because no one's alive to talk about it. But she goes, that's the thing that scares me. That is my darkest moment. That's the thing that gives me anxiety, that gives me panic attacks. And then she asked me to do something, and I'm going to share it with you now, and it's going to sound weird when it hits your ear holes. But just push through and sit with it, okay? She made me promise. She said, if we're ever on a plane together and we realise this plane is about to crash, she goes, I want you to kill me. I told you it's going to hit weird. But hear it. When I heard that, I thought, wow, she trusts me, the person that she loves most in the world. This is before we had children. Now she'll use me as a human shield at a Costco sale. But she trusts me enough that when she's in her darkest moment that I will remove her from that. And I thought that was really romantic. Initially. But then it hit me. I'm on that plane too. But I don't get to experience any terror because I've got one more fucking chore to do. It got to a point we can fly domestic, like we'll fly Sydney to Melbourne. As soon as I get on the plane, I start making a shiv. We hit a bit of turbulence. I've already stabbed her twice. She's like, I'm not even scared. It's just turbulence. I'm like, die, bitch, die! So we got a divorce.